must find where Gortash and Orin have established themselves, and take their nether stones.
Welcome back to Tran wins Baldur's Gate 3.
The city is close now. My former peers will be watching, no doubt. Waiting for my return. We should do what we can to find them. What they know could help us.
As you may know if you've watched the videos up to this point, the recorded playthrough is generally the second, third, maybe even fourth playthrough of an area. The first one being my note-taking expedition, and I figure out what I'd like to do. I have thought of a different way I can also approach this, where I can add one more playthrough on top of it, where I just do a 4-character battle. We're going to do a battle up here, and the team is going to switch up. That's a slightly different playthrough, and you'll have to let me know if that's too jarring, or if you like the way that kind of flows. So the point of that is to allow us to have all of our characters available for conversation, and then when it comes down to battle, you can kind of see what a normal battle would look like. Basically having the best of both worlds. I'm doing several playthroughs and then giving you the best quality of everything. And so it will be a little bit more staged than normal, but again, let me know if you like this.
Excuse me, I can't find my mum.
An example of staging is just for this dialogue, we are a ranger.
Tell me where she went, little one. I can try tracking her down.
She went looking for herbs. That's what she said. Said it was for the spots. She had them all in her hands and face. She said she wouldn't be gone long, but that was a whole 10 days ago.
The herbs you know for salving sores would take effect immediately. It seems unlikely this child's mother will return.
Here, I have some rations to spare. Eat up, child.
Thank you. I was getting hungry. Mum made a big stew before she left. She's the best cook ever. But I ate it all. I'll look for her. I think she'll probably come soon. Thanks a lot.
The most recent build of the game removes the option to give Yenna food. The reason why I did so much research into that,
how much farther can I go?
Playtesting, was I was trying to make something funny by just giving her human body parts or beer as food, and that's how I discovered all of this stuff by testing.
I do not understand why the patriarchs of the city do not open their gates to the refugees.
For Minthara, I really like her dialogue. So what we'll be doing is I'll be loading a save and showing you different dialogue paths just to let you hear everything she has to say.
I'm surprised to hear you suggesting aid for those in need.
I was not suggesting they be allowed to roam free. They should be put to work. The city needs laborers and fodder to protect it.
They'd be better off seeking help elsewhere if all they can hope for is to die for Baldur's Gate.
If they are weak, they will die, whether it is on the road or in defense of the city. And if they are strong, they will find a way to survive.
You suggesting they be used as slaves?
I am suggesting they be fed and sheltered, and that they work in return. Call it whatever you wish. Perhaps you think it would be better for them to starve or be slaughtered here, while the citizens hide behind their walls.
It's only fair that they should earn their keep.
Yes. And if they work hard enough for long enough, the city might allow them to earn their freedom one day.
An easily missable conversation with Minthara if you talk to her before proceeding onward. Even though the exclamation point is gone, there's another conversation.
The next urchin that tries to pick my pocket will lose its hand.
Please don't mutilate any children, Minthara.
Half of the children here are already mutilated by poverty and starvation.
Why not take its head?
If I take its head, how will it learn from its mistakes? Even here, a child deserves a second chance. I am reminded of the Brerin, the stench streets of Menzoberranzan, where the sick and the outlawed make their homes. Despite the destitution, there is profit and opportunity to be found in such places, if one is willing to wade through the squalor.
Don't waste a step.
I really like what Minthara has to say about the world around her. And I'm thinking that if we're going to do any romance options, although I've already shut down pretty much everybody, she'd probably be the one. Because I think that it might make the video more interesting, because she's both a rare character, and she has some interesting insights. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that being a...
That's not what I meant. But you insist on continuing to be difficult.
Timeline, I don't know if that's what you want to call it, a story for this adventure that you'd like to include. All right, we're going to go for some more kind of unique chatter, the thing that pops up over people's heads, by searching the house before we talk to everybody.
The house was empty.
If you continue listening to them for a while, he hides behind the fact that he's got a woman and child when he says, "Hey, you should leave the house." And what? Or you'll attack us? I really do not like that squatter. He just seems so horrible as a person. The key for this hatch is in the master bedroom, and the key for the master bedroom is in the kitchen. We're not going to worry about any of that. We're just going to go straight through with lockpicking. Now there's a bunch of traps down here, and you can actually disarm the rigged fireworks and take them with you. If you take this path that I'm going along the road near the gong, there is one wire here, and hop over, you're done. Otherwise, if you go through this, you'll have to deal with a lot more wires. The chest itself is trapped. I didn't seem to detect it, and that's okay. It is just a poison cloud. There we go. Gifts for refugees only, please distribute. Inside the chest was 247 gold and a blackmail letter. Let's go ahead and grab that. Get out of the area. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and trigger one of these traps just so you can see what it's like. Let's take a look at the note we found. Starin disapproves. I think he disapproved because he got hit by a trap, and for whatever reason, the game mechanics, they count the traps as your damage. He didn't like that he got hit by traps. It's not because I was a bad commander. It's just the game always thinks that when you trigger a trap, its source is the player. Arthur, package still waiting for you at Fellow Gears. You'd better not be late again, or we'll start to wonder if you're really as committed as you claim to be. Pick it up, put it in the teddy bears, make the donation. It couldn't be simpler, really. If it's still here this time tomorrow, we'll stuff you with it. As you all know, we've plenty to spare.
Where else these toys have ended up? Who do you target with exploding bears?
If you talk to the guy first, he doesn't talk about, Starin does not talk about who do you target with exploding bears. I like that line better.
I'm going to have to make you.
You're going to hire all the refugees.
Oh yeah? Gonna get your thugs to butcher my wife and kid, are you?
That's your I dare you?
What I meant. You do insist on continuing to be
He's such a trash human being.
Path lies before me.
What do you get out of this?
The place was empty. Keep those thugs away from my family.
Danuvia! Get these spotters out of my house now!
Arthur, sweetheart, you paid me and my boys to be caravan guards, not cattle wranglers. If you want us to get our hands dirty, it'd be our pleasure. But that'll be extra.
You certainly know how to make people feel welcome.
You shouldn't have to make people feel welcome in places they don't belong. I just want to remove these unlawful interlopers from my property.
If you pick number 1 after you've been in the basement, he'll stick the guards on you. And yes, while this guy is doing criminal activities, it still doesn't excuse the squatter just taking over a person's house. And again, I'm saying this is a completely evil player character. Oh, and as a barbarian, you can actually encourage the noblemen to fight one-on-one with the squatter, but it doesn't actually change anything, which is kind of funny. All of the solutions pretty much lead to the same thing.
It's always heartening to see a true philanthropist out in the wild.
Excuse me? I'm exceedingly charitable. Ask anyone in this wretched town. It's one thing to donate extremely generously to those less fortunate than oneself, and quite another to give away one's entire house.
This man's indignant demeanor barely masks a seething anxiety. There's more to this situation than he's letting on.
I'm a very magnanimous individual, but this is my home! Either they leave, or I'll make them.
You seem to be a little on edge. Are you all right?
Well, wouldn't you be on edge if your beautiful home had been defiled by such brazen interlopers?
I'll get them out of your house for free.
Old family motto. Never trust anyone who works for free. What's in it for you?
My reasons are my own. You want to save some money or not?
Think you can do it? Fine. Be my guest.
I see you're a charitable sort. Perhaps you have some benevolence to spare for us poor souls. We just lost a load of gold thanks to somebody interfering in our business, you see, and now we're a little out of pocket.
Is the little dog trying to intimidate us? If it continues to bark, I will snap its neck.
The Guild, a loose coalition unifying every criminal outfit in the city under one collective rule, from cut purses to contract killers.
Real shame that, but you'll have to find your charitable donation elsewhere.
Oh, you know, it's shocking how many people opt for the hard way when the easy way's right there. Any last words?
I've always been a difficult person. I just can't help it.
You know, somehow I can believe that.
Look over there. Distraction.
Just a little more. One foot in front of the other. Nothing to do.
How about a game of Toss the Halfling? 2 points. Well, why can't you move yet? I've removed everybody between the two of you in initiative. Fine. Karlak shoots. And Tran follows up. Swish! Nothing but death. Brave father running away from the fight.
I see those animals are out of the picture. Can we stay now? Or are you going to turn us next?
I get that this is a stressful situation for him, but he is just a total garbage human being. And not only does he run away from the fight, I'm going to hide behind my family because you wouldn't dare kill some unarmed people here. And then his response to you giving him money in comparison to what he has just done.
Here, take this. You'll be much better off in an inn than waiting to get chased out of here.
I don't want to take charity from some stranger. But I will. For the sake of my daughter, thank you. We'll get going as soon as we've got our things together.
Get out of here, loser. Now that we have the note, we need to investigate before we discuss things with the NPC. Let's head on over to the donation bar.
If I was a Sharon lookout, this is the sort of place I'd want around.
What Shadowheart was just talking about, we'll get to that afterwards, one thing at a time.
Donations?
I'll take a donation.
Very funny. You can make a donation to the refugees, or you can leave.
All right, now donate something.
Let's see what you've got.
Here, why don't you have this mug and this rope?
Thank you. I'm sure your contribution will be greatly appreciated. Got something else to donate, have you?
I'd like to take the donation into the bar myself.
Well, if you must, I suppose it saves me the walk. But if you're gonna do it, hurry up.
I like the dialogue better if we happen upon the bomb and then set off the bomb, but I want to bring my party inside so that way he comes approaching our character rather than talking to one of our random party members. I'm wrapped around here like a big giant snake. Now, if we had told him that there's something inside and we should investigate together, we actually get to investigate all the containers and even just take stuff out, such as if we wanted some fruit or whatever. What we're looking for is here, and if you're investigating with him and you pass the detection check,
stay alert. That's a trap.
he then approaches and you don't want to necessarily set off the bomb. Let's go ahead and blow it up here.
What was that? Are you alright?
Look at me. Have my eyebrows been singed off?
Well, you're still talking, so you can't be that bad. What happened here?
So, it turns out those toy bears were explosive.
What? Those are children's toys. Which means if a child had picked one up... I don't want to think about it. How do I know you're not the one who planted those explosives?
Okay, this is stupid because he's literally got a piece of paper out there that says who donated the toy bears, but whatever.
I almost died in the explosion myself. I want to find whoever's responsible.
All right, I guess it can't hurt. I'll check up on the rest of the goods. You try and find whoever is responsible for this.
If you... Well, hold on, I guess thinks Lazel's in trouble.
Halt, citizen! This is a restricted area. Explain yourself.
There's something dangerous in the donations I need to investigate.
And I'm the Duke's bedwarmer. Follow me, please. Manip Nestor will know what to do with you.
Seriously, game? Yeah, anyways. Let's go and talk to this pig.
Who would do such a... I say, terribly decent of you to come over and exchange pleasantries.
One of the things I really like about Baldur's Gate is the variety of conversations it has. And, of course, I've always felt that things should be voice-overed, voice-lined. However, an unfortunate part is a lot of times you only get one chance to see stuff. For many characters, whatever option you pick eventually wraps around to the same dialogue, such as a kind of a fake choice. In the case of this pig, while none of these actions changes anything, you never get to see the other options. Though sometimes you can work around it by making another character go and speak to that NPC. It doesn't always work. We're going to go and pick number 2, but I just want to let you know that if you pick number 3, the pig says something like, well, I smell something horrible on the other side of that wall, and I would know, I'm a pig. So yeah, there's a lot of cool dialogue. I just wish you could see it, all of it.
What are you doing in that pen?
I was donated, apparently. Presumably for an emotional support role. A therapy pig, if you will. That'll be why I'm kept so well fed. They doubtless want me performing at my tip-top.
We'll walk around and talk to this guard over here. And then we'll go back and start dealing with some other...
All these people fleeing for their lives, only to be corralled like cattle.
Supplies are short, but I can scrape enough together for everyone.
We couldn't go through this door because we would get in trouble even if we had Manip Nestor's permission to enter. Also, this is a good way to get locked up in prison, which is possibly a way to move forward in the game because it puts you somewhere you want to be. In Moonrise Towers, I managed to figure out a way to sneak behind the necromancers. While taking the boat back is definitely not an option because the game doesn't permit it, you can actually piss off the Harpers, where Jaheira is, and then get locked up. And they will lock you in the Moonrise Tower prison, and you can break out and then be there behind the necromancers without having to go through their army. It's stupid, but it's just like, I was trying to figure out a way I could do that.
Hail, friend. Fine day, isn't it? Forgive me, you're in no mood to talk about the weather. Your journey here was a hard one, no doubt. Is this your first time in Baldur's Gate?
Plenty of times. Got the scars to prove it.
A word of advice, then. You might not get as warm a welcome as in days gone by. Used to be you'd arrive knowing you had a full belly and a warm bed waiting for you. Not anymore. These days, there's barely enough to go around. Add the refugees on top and, well, folk aren't feeling too generous.
I'm not surprised. Tensions seem high around here.
Tensions? That's putting it mildly. Some well-to-dos in the city donated enough to see the newcomers right for the time being. Only they didn't bother helping everyone else. Locals going without while strangers feast. It stoked the fire, all right. Some Baldurians are kicking up a fuss round the front of the barn as we speak. If I wasn't wearing this uniform, I'd walk round there and teach them a lesson they'd never forget.
I think your uniform would be enough to make them quieten down.
The flaming fist isn't what it used to be. It's grown weak, corruptible, soft. It's down to honest citizens like me to stand up for what's right, uniform or no. That lot round the front, they've got it coming to them.
If the refugees have more than they need, it's only fair they give some back.
Too bloody right. But will they share? Not a chance. Those refugees have been leeching on our city for too long. If we don't show them that we mean business, they'll bleed us dry. We need to march round the front and kill every last one of them. Let's see them eat our food with their guts on the floor. What do you say?
Both sides need teaching a lesson. Let's kill them all.
Yes, yes, yes! Slit and slice and chop and bleed them. Not a soul left alive.
The only option there that would get you not to disapprove from your teammates would be the fighter option, which of course is not going to be available to everyone.
So, you're the lick-spittle who crushed the Bone Lord's thrall. Have you come begging, sniffing for our stones? Gortash won't like that. A throat his black hand can't choke the spit from. He will tremble at your slaughter. So eager to spill the guts from this city. When you find the lordling, tell him Orin is watching.
So Orin is a shapeshifter. How long has she been watching?
Orin will appear twice, and you can tell which NPC she'll convert from if you hover over them and it says Legendary Resistance Incapacitation. If you are observing from a different character, such as you switch to another character while you're talking to that NPC, you can actually watch as that NPC is replaced by an Orin avatar. I have tried to kill this Orin avatar using things like the Twist of Fortune's Blood Money ability, reverse pickpocketing money onto the NPC, and then hitting them. They'll drop down to 0 HP nothing. I've tried telekinesising them into a pit. Doesn't really do anything. So, just letting you know that unfortunately the game does not let you off her at this point.
We'll drink to their memory.
It's not enough. We have a gallery of villains to look out for, but now we could be infiltrated by a shape changer? I can't even tell if any of you are acting strange because you've been replaced, or because this group is full of weirdos.
So Bal's chosen is a doppelganger. I should not be surprised. They have ever been among his favorite servants. Orin is testing you. Either she thinks herself a predator, playing with her food, or she fears what you might do. Good.
Recall what you know of doppelgangers.
Shape-shifting monstrosities of unknown origin. Doppelgangers are unnatural predators. Their latent empathic abilities helping them to know, imitate, and eventually replace their prey.
She wants us paranoid, likely to make a mistake.
Exactly. The last time I fought doppelgangers, the Balspawn Sarevok was using them to subvert the city government, aid his rise to power. But Orin, he's more predator than politician, I think. She simply wants to make us feel hunted, isolated. Tell the Lordling that Orin is watching. Seems that Gortash and Orin have had a little falling out. We should leverage that.
Fucking shapeshifter. She'll try to break our best asset, our trust. Fortunately, she's no match for our second best asset, me.
There's still a little bit more to do before we're done with this little barn escapade. But we are almost out of the woods on it. There is a lot to explore, and I'm deliberately ignoring it because I don't want it. I want the video to be understandable rather than getting distracted at every little thing.
This isn't a glorious post, Fists, but it isn't a hard one either. If you can't even guard a blasted shed, it's no wonder we're being replaced by steel watchers.
If we take a look at the donation record, there's absolutely no reason for them not to know who donated the bears, but whatever. Arthur Gregorio, 21 stuffed toy bears. Unusually weighty.
Double the patrols. We're dealing with a maniac here.
We'll need to talk to Shadowheart before speaking to Ferg Droger.
File a report. And I'm sure the Manic will deal with it. Nice to be in a crowd of normal people for once.
Really?
What in the hell?
I prefer my company.
An earthquake,
Extraordinary.
perhaps. Strong enough to rouse the dead, too.
Oh, thanks.
Don't thank me. Thank Gortash.
Excuse you? I didn't need that prick to make me who I am.
Oh, you're right, of course. Forgive me.
All good, Fangs.
The conversation between Tran and Lae'zel, that was a separate conversation between Asterion and Karlach.
If the guild come asking, I'll be making it very clear that you took it upon yourself to kill their thugs. I had nothing to do with it. So you should probably get away from the scene of the crime.
The squatters are gone. The house is all yours.
At long last! I've got so much to do now, I'd really better get on with it. Excuse me, would you?
Exerting Judgement. You can get an acolyte and I think a folk hero inspiration for siding with the squatters. We only get the noble one for siding with him, however. I just want to show off his chatter.
I go away for a few days and the place is ruined. Bloody squatters. I should put bear traps under the windows next time. Where is my candelabra? Did they take my grandmother's candelabra?
Poor guy. It's about to get worse for him.
Look, I really don't have time to chat. I'm sure you can find someone less busy to listen to you somewhere.
I found the toys you donated. Care to explain before everything blows up in your face?
How do you... Whatever you think you know, I'm sure some gold would help you to forget.
If I wanted gold, I would have gutted you and taken it.
Please don't. What do you want from me? It's not my fault. I was forced to do this. Framed even. They would have killed me if I refused to rig the toys. And they're definitely going to kill me now.
They? Who is this they?
I can't tell you. I won't tell you.
Tell me who they are, or you'll be dead before they even get to you.
All right. Just don't hurt me. The teddy bears were an experiment. My greatest invention. A clever little device in their chest allows them to speak. But there's more. Smoke powder inside the device I collect packages from Verloga's fireworks in the lower city and stuff the bears with it. Not because I want to, because I have to. Otherwise, they'll kill me.
You still haven't told me who they are.
I don't know who's in charge, but it starts at the fireworks shop. That's where the packages come from. Go there, tell them Uncle Verloga sent you, and they'll show you the smoke powder. Lots of it. There. I told you what you wanted to know. Now, will you let me go?
His plea comes with an offering. A pass granting you access to the lower city.
Thanks, but I'll need all your gold too.
Here, take it, all of it. I don't care. You'll never see me again, I promise.
We'll take the blackmail because it's inspirations. Stuffed bears in the closet. Waiting for all the inspirations to appear. Did we not get the blackmail? I thought we were supposed to get the blackmail inspiration. Hold on, what's... it didn't say it, but we get also... Innocence Lost, expose the toy maker's mischief. Alright, let's go and talk to this guy. Saer Grotpoll.
Do you hear that noise? The flames? I knew these refugees were up to no good. I knew it! Aldarians! Stand with me against this tide that threatens to overwhelm us!
Please just go home. You're ruining a perfectly uneventful posting with this nonsense.
The Flaming Fists are supposed to protect this good city, but they allow trash and vermin to take our homes and goods. Oh. Another visitor, I see. Listen. We keep letting the likes of you in. Soon, there'll be no room left for any of us true Baldurians.
I thought cities were supposed to welcome folk of all walks of life. Clearly, I was mistaken.
Someone's added explosives to toys meant for refugees. Sound familiar?
What exactly are you implying? You bleeding hearts are always painting us as monsters. We don't want them dead. We just want Baldur's Gate to be for Baldurians. Let Waterdeep give this riffraff shelter.
True Baldurian. Your accent's Rivingtonian. That hardly counts.
Excuse me? I was born inside the city walls, a Baldurian through and through. Wherever you're from, clearly they don't teach manners.
You see them over there? Refugees? Ha! Naught but a cover. I know what they really are. Dyed-in-the-wool agents of the Absolute. Mark my words.
Then you should butcher the heretics. Here, I'll even help you.
I mean, I hardly think that's necessary.
Coward.
There's probably only a handful of rotten apples among them. But you know what they say about rot? It spreads quickly. Ruins the whole bunch.
Alright, now we'll talk to Shadowheart before talking to this guy. Otherwise, we'll never get to ask her.
All's well, I hope? Aside from the obvious.
You mentioned Shar followers might be watching for us. You think we can use them to track down your parents?
I hope so. So long as I'm willing to stroll right into the Mother Superior's trap, they have no reason to not tell me where to go.
So you don't even know where to go?
Not quite. Above all else, protecting our base of operations in Baldur's Gate was the reason I had to surrender my memories to begin with. Or at least, that's what I was led to believe. We should look for someone to point me in the right direction. Otherwise, we'll have little recourse but to wander the whole city searching.
Expecting a warm reception?
If by warm you perhaps mean a flaming arrow. I doubt they'll attack in public. No, I expect they'll point me in the right direction so I can face my reckoning away from prying eyes.
What should we be looking for?
Worm's Crossing is a choke point. If I wanted to intercept a new arrival, I'd find somewhere before the bridge, blend in amongst the crowds, and wait. Most people seeking entry to the city will be refugees. I'd look wherever they're gathering.
I just lost a wager, thanks to you.
Who are you?
Someone who bet that you'd never be foolish enough to actually show your face in this city again. But here you are. And the gold in my purse is soon to take flight.
You're a Sharan, aren't you? From Shadowheart's Cloister.
There have been whispers about you, sister. About your faith, your loyalty, your company. I can't help but feel the strangest twinge of disgust as I look upon you. Is it true? Has Our Lady forsaken you?
She has turned her back on your wretched goddess.
I suppose that's the subtle approach dispensed with?
Oh, don't be so harsh. It's plain to see that you've turned heretic, even if your friend had kept his mouth shut.
Let Shadowheart continue.
I know the truth. I know my parents still live. Tell me where they are, and I have no quarrel with you.
I'm afraid the quarrel is unavoidable, thanks to you. Now I must report your reappearance. If you are intent on bringing matters to a head, then seek out the House of Grief in the lower city. Though, if I was you, I'd be very tempted to just forget it all and disappear. You have some form at doing so, after all.
The excess of refugees outside the city walls could easily become a surplus of laborers.
Careful, Minthara. As a drow exile, you could be classed as a refugee yourself. Not volunteering, I take it?
I am a daughter of House Bainray. I obey no authority except my own desires.
I can think of at least one Wriggly stowaway who might dispute
That's
that.
why we need to walk just a little more.
This is where we entered the map from. Right in front is the house that we dealt with, and then over here starts leading towards the bridge. We're going to cover more of the refugee camp on this during this recording session, but I'm just trying to give you perspective so that it doesn't look like one confusing mess any more than it needs to be. Also, touching this fireplace is illegal. Don't know why, but she will totally get up in your face about it.
This one time, we'll make an exception.
Turn back, citizen. No passage in this direction.
Don't tell me where I can and can't go.
It's my job to do exactly that. If you intend to spend any time in Baldur's Gate, you best learn some respect for the Flaming Fist. And trust me, you don't want to go out there. The cultists assaulted the gate, armed to the teeth trying to break in. They nearly had it too, before the Steel Watch intervened.
I prefer guards with actual faith in what they're protecting.
Look, pal. Faith or no, the sooner the Steel Watch replaces me, the better. There's no reason for me to stick my neck out against armies of cultists when we can send mountains of steel instead. Way I see it, city's got a whole lot safer since the Steel Watch showed up. For that, we can thank Lord Gortash.
I'll be including little snippets like that, and perhaps just use the voice of the main character nonetheless.
If not over,
When viable. I generally do little shortcuts like that once a playlist has really picked up underway, because by that point, anybody watching the playlist will have hopefully have understood how the game normally works. Crouch if you want to loot these. Some potions, nothing major.
You'll be in a big, cozy bed soon enough.
And if we look out over here, we can see the so-called battle. I'm going to tell you, I slaughtered way more people than this in the Moonrise Towers.
Things right before bed. This one time, we'll make an exception.
As long as you stop sulking and start walking right now.
Whoops, that's the wrong way. We want to continue covering the refugee camp.
Time to press ahead.
Okay, this one is something I've really deliberated on, and here's what I think we'll do. If we kill the target inside, we get this really cool artifact. If we don't kill the target, we might get some more interesting cutscenes down the road. I don't entirely know. So what I'm going to do is, for recording purposes, we will work with the entity inside this bard. But for things like battles, we'll be working in a timeline where we've killed it. This is another thing that I can do if I'm doing my battles in a different playthrough. Because there's a really cool artifact inside, and I'll talk about that. This will also give you an idea of whether or not you want to help the entity or not help the entity. So for the time being, let's go ahead and...
Well, what do we have here? Have you been following me, big boy?
That's curious.
Something over there.
We'll go and make a save here, and we'll start by killing it.
My! The fates move in strange and scrumptious ways. I am delighted to see you again. After our little interlude at last light, I was worried you'd gone quite mad.
It takes worse than a bit of gore to turn my gullet.
And mine. And mine. Though, one thing I find quite distasteful is being kept outside our intended city. I'd quite like to get inside, but it's difficult to shuffle your way to the top of the queue when you're, well, as big as an ox. But what if I was smaller, more discreet? Maybe then a kind soul might bring me through, right in their little pocket.
On the screen right now is going to be a timestamp of when you should warp ahead if you want to skip talking about builds. We're going to go ahead and first start by killing this guy.
Not until you tell me exactly what you are.
I don't think you want to travel this road, my friend.
I assure you I do. Tell me what you really are, or I'll strike you down myself.
All I wanted was a bit of hay, a good brushing, and a clean stall. The simple life. Is that so much to ask?
Tried several ways to try to get this item from this ooze without killing it. And the only thing I figured out is if I polymorph this guy, he'll die very quickly, but you don't get the full loot. What you probably know by now is if you kill this guy as soon as you meet him, you'll get something called the Shapeshifter's Ring. But that's not actually what we're looking for. We're looking for something a lot cooler than that. At any point during Act 2 or Act 3, if you kill this guy, he will drop a new item in addition to the Shapeshifter's Ring. What we're looking for is the Hat of Fire Acuity. You can argue ethics however you want. This ooze is completely evil. It has done evil before, and while it wants to enter the city and maybe just relax and eat hay, it still worships an evil god. As far as the alignment system is concerned, it is evil. However, as far as practicality goes, from Act 2 onwards, when it can turn into the ooze, it drops the Hat of Fire Acuity. I don't know if I said that right. Whenever you deal fire damage, you gain Arcane Acuity for 2 turns. We're going to go ahead and take that, and we're actually going to hand that to Gale. The other item it drops, and this will drop from whenever you see it, basically from Act 1, Shapeshifter's Boon Ring. When shapeshifting or disguising yourself, gain plus 1d4 bonus to all checks. I'm going to actually show you Will for a second. He's currently wearing the Helmet of Arcane Acuity. Whenever he deals damage with a weapon attack, you gain Arcane Acuity for 2 turns. And what does that do? It gives me plus 1 bonus to spell attack rolls and spell difficulty class for each remaining turn. So if I hit a guy with his main hand, I'll get 2 turns of Arcane Acuity, giving me plus 2 to my spell DC. His spell DC would be hold on, that's not it. Where is it? Where do you see this? Does the game not tell me what my spell save DC is? Fine, I'll show you. Let's just cast Hold Person on Tran. Target can't be an ally. Jeez, game. Alright, let's just target one of these characters. It's 75% now, and because it's out of a D20, every +1 is 5% additional. So if I hit an enemy with my main hand, I'll get 2 Arcane Acuity, giving me a +2, which is 10% increase. Then since he's going to be using an offhand attack as well, possibly, that's going to be a 20% increase. Since he's a Warlock with Pact of the Blade, he gets 2 attacks. So he gets to use his main hand twice. This is now a 30% increase. Since the game, additionally, as of Honor mode, which is the extra difficulty mode, they have patched certain things that players may have gotten used to. And I never really employed it too much myself because I never knew when they would patch it out. But a Warlock with Deep Impact, with a Warlock with Deep Impact, they get an extra attack. And then if you give them a class that has an extra attack of their own, such as a level 6 Bard, they have their own extra attack. These will stack, even though it says it doesn't stack from extra attack. I can't. There's no T button for this. I can't lock on that pop up. But even though it says it doesn't stack extra attack, that is only for other base extra attacks, such as from Fighter or Ranger. Now in Honor mode, I think they have fixed this. So that's an interesting way to solve it, is to allow players who want to use this oversight to continue using it in their regular difficulty modes and to fix it for higher difficulty modes moving forward. I think that's cool. So I've got ahead and built our characters. Since they reached level 11, I went ahead and refined them a little bit more. And so now, Will, you can see he's wearing armor at this time. He's no longer going to be our cantrip blaster. I moved that over to Gale. But Will is going to be our extra attacker. So he has the regular attack. Then he has the Warlock attack, that's 2. Then he has the Bard extra attack, that's 3. And then he has his offhand attack. That's 4 actions. I'm not exactly sure if Slashing Flourish will count for these kind of things. Let's actually try. Let's hit our Tran with it. See if how many... Okay, so we hit him once, and we got 1 Arcane Acuity. With the Warlock, we can't actually start off with the Slashing Flourish ranged attack. The first attack will be a regular Sword Swing. Then the second and third can be a Slashing Flourish. That's a total of 5 main hand attacks. Then a 6th offhand attack. But then there's the fact that we are capped at 10 maximum Arcane Acuity. Still, that's a 50% increase, -1 for ending our turn. I know that was a really long way to talk about that, but this was something I've been kind of building around. This means that I have a 40 to 45% chance increase after the first round to hold person anybody. Alright, what does that have to do with Gale? I'm gonna have to put a caption like, hey, if you want to skip build stuff, skip to this timeline. Well, if we put this hat on Gale, then whenever he deals fire damage, such as with Scorching Ray, he will get, let's say we did a max, 6 rays of fire. That's the same thing as what Will is doing, except Will is doing it with main hand weapon attacks. Gale can quicken cast this with his bonus action, and then use extended duration for a command or hold spell. Alright, let's load and save the ooze this time.
I suppose so. What form will you take?
Ooh. This day has ended so much better than it started. Now, you don't worry about me. I'll be a good, quiet little apple you can tuck into the corner of your pack, just until we're inside the city walls. Hail, Cyric! I can't wait to get inside.
Are you telling me you couldn't have turned into a bird or a rat or something? I will say that my first impulse was to try to eat this apple, but the game does not let you. If you throw the apple, however, the ooze spawns right on top of the character who's throwing it, not wherever you threw the apple, even if you threw the apple into a chasm. And then you do battle with the ooze. There's also an item in the game which will turn all food rotten. You could put the apple in there and nothing actually happens. The food does rot, but it still maintains all the properties of it being the ox. Let's go talk to our orphan friends over here.
Double the patrols. We're dealing with a maniac here.
You did me a real favor clearing all those ghouls out of Moonrise. That old bonebag Ketherick had some fancy junk stashed behind all the cobwebs and piles of gore.
You looted Moonrise Towers.
Didn't you? Figured we only got the scraps you didn't have the strength to carry.
What do you think of Baldur's Gate?
Wish I could tell you. We're stuck out here, but most of the action is beyond Worm's Crossing.
Show me these fancy items you have on offer. Anything magical?
Would I try to fool a Sharpie like you? Have a look.
Well, let's take a look. We have the Holy Hand Soap. Again, this is garbage stuff, though this does work as regular soap. The Baldur's Gate Stone. It's really an actual stone from Baldur's Gate. Truly a unique historical artifact, one of a kind. Useless items aside, there's Scabby Pugilist Circlet. Your weapon and unarmed attacks deal an additional 2 damage while surrounded by 2 or more foes. We'll go and put that on our Punching Monk. Corvid Token, Boon of the Raven Queen. While wearing the amulet, the wearer's jump and flying speed increase by 1.5 meters and they gain the Featherfall condition. Featherfall's effect will persist while the wearer is polymorphed or wild shape. We'll put that on our Shapeshifting Druid.
Stay away from trapped chests.
Thanks, kid. Don't pick up any wooden nickels.
You're coddling these vagabonds and don't give a rat's ass about honest citizens.
We'll talk to this dog for sure.
Here we are, Griselda. All in one piece.
I wish the cult hadn't burnt our farm, though. At least we got Biscotti out of that burning barn.
Can't leave Crunch behind, though. No, I'm afraid I must insist you do not pet the hound.
My love, you can't keep being so rude to strangers. It's just a dog.
All the grabbing and touching startles poor Biscotti. I will not apologise for caring about my boy.
Dogs are very sensitive to emotion. If you relax, the dog might too.
Good luck. I've been saying that for the past decade.
Look, if I don't remain vigilant, something could happen to poor Biscotti. I'd never forgive myself.
Oh, yes. As long as the dog is okay, he's happy. Give me strength.
Oh, gods! Are they gonna see it? What happens if they don't see it?
Who's a good dog? You're a good dog.
Yes! Oh, goodness, yes! I am a good dog! Fantastic stuff! Oh, yes, you're lovely. You can come back.
Have you found some place we can wash our clothes yet?
Most of the refugees are not really worth talking to, but some of them are kind of amusing.
Heads will roll for this. This transgression. This injustice.
I know. The way they treat refugees around here is terrible.
I don't give a shit about all that. It's how I've been treated, which is the real travesty. A perfectly respectable businessman wants to bring his, well, business into this fine city. And what do?
What's your business?
Well, I was going to sell the finest alchemical tinkerings the Gate had ever seen, but the bureaucrats had other ideas. They talked some absolute horse bollocks about papers and correct filing procedures and threw me in this slum.
Imagine upending someone's life in the name of bureaucracy. People are out of touch here.
I should be loins deep in Chares's caress by now, not waddling about in filth.
Halsin tries to talk a good game, but you have to understand that while society does attempt to help people, and unfortunately can't help everyone, such as this Tinker and Nazi. Remember that Halsin's Grove was trying to exile all of these refugees so that they would die. Yes, he wasn't there, but the rest of his druids were just as willing to do it. Aside from Wrath. I think Wrath was the only one who was against it. Everybody else would completely side against you. So yeah, society definitely has its problems, but they do try to help who they can. And in a video game, nobody can solve any problems without the player. None of that even matters.
Feast to commemorate those we lost. Supplies are short, but I can scrape enough together for everyone to have a bite of something solid. Even if we only have tankers of river water to raise, we'll drink to their memory.
Not a lot of tieflings here, but I hope that there's more inside.
So, you survived. That's more than many of my kin can say.
At least you made it. How are you holding up?
It's mainly anger that keeps me going. Zevlor was supposed to lead us, but he froze when we needed him most. I haven't seen him since the massacre on the road, which is lucky for him.
What a sad situation. The once proud tieflings of Elturel, reduced to beggars.
You forgot thieves and scavengers.
I've heard Alfira made her way into the city.
Get well.
Washing my pits, this is the song when I'm... Aye! Gonna bloke not get any bleeding privacy around here. Bunch of perverts, the lot of you.
I like the way his eyes suddenly open in surprise. The animation on this game, it's good. This dude is faking an injury so he can watch these two guys who are trying to babysit him. You can pass that with a medicine check. That pretty much covers the refugee camp over here.
Find us bloody keepers, I say.
Bloody savages, a lot of them.
We're as desperate as the rest of these savages. They just had the sense to move quicker than us.
People arguing about looting stuff and didn't get there in time. That still leads into the city proper. Remember that over here is... This is where we did the fight. That's where we talked about Shadowheart. This is the Alfur's house, and that moves on towards the Baldur's Gate area. We are kind of moving around the outskirts to cover all of one region. These guys are having a private picnic.
Cannot crush into their claws again. Another defeat will wipe us out.
This is the Gur camp. What's up, everyone?
What will we do? There are so few of us left.
Our strength was never numbers, but the bonds we share, and they are stronger than it.
Rechtei Hathran Rust. Frey Valdiskdurovna. Frey Vald Iskablast.
You recognize the funeral rites of the Gur people, the same monster hunters you met in the Hag Swamp. Their leader is burning the possessions of those who have fallen.
Im Orak. Nete. Krasin. Netra. So, the impossible spawn walks among us in the blazing sun. We have been looking for you.
If you want to throw him on the pyre, I fully support that.
I promise you, the thought did cross my mind. The last time your friend came to our camp, he stole our children, our future. When we sent Gandrel after you, we wanted to interrogate you, to discover how to save our children, and then destroy you. But things have changed. You have changed. Is it true you left your master? That you broke the spell that binds you to him?
Well, I mean, kind of. It's a long story, honestly.
It was more dumb luck than any skill on his part.
One is just as important as the other, I find. And our luck has been poor. We have tried to save our children once already, attacking Khazad-dûr'Zar's palace at first light. Even then, it was too well defended. But if his own spawn approached, someone he thought he could control, he would throw his doors open and welcome you in. And once inside, you could do what we could not. You could save the children you damned.
You don't know Khazad-dûr like I do. He's merciless. You want me to march into the lion's den and save your children? But I promise you, they're already dead.
How can you be sure, Astarion?
I spent 200 years bringing him victims. Each and every one was whisked away to be fed on that night.
But you never saw him feed yourself. He could keep prisoners for days before killing them. If our children are truly gone, then we ask for blood. I know you can understand that, Spawn.
You owe them revenge, Astarion. If nothing else, you owe them that.
I suppose. Yes. Yes. Revenge, I can do.
Thank you from me and all my people. If you can do this, we will be in your debt. You have lived a life of violence and sin. You have stolen lives, broken families, and caused immeasurable grief. Doing this will not right those wrongs.
If you're trying to encourage me, you're failing abysmally.
But it will be a start. You may still be redeemed. Please go. Time is short, but we will see you again when it is done.
Okay, this part will be new to me because I ended up killing them all during my rehearsal. Let's see what these people have to say.
Strength was never numbered.
We are begging help from you, an outsider. I would follow Ulmer to the hells and back, but this does not feel right.
To lose our children is a tragedy. To fail so utterly in saving them is something else entirely. Ulmer insists the tribe is not cursed, but I have my doubts.
Perhaps it's just bad leadership.
What if this is it for our...
I pray you will succeed where we failed. Exterminate every last vampire parasite.
Do not stand here and wait. Cazador must be destroyed.
Lady, I'm going to tell you how RPGs work. It's going to be a long time before we ever see this Cazador guy.
No screaming children. No laughter. No scolding words. There is only silence and pain.
Very dramatic, but I was just watching her face to see if it would ever pop in correctly.
Our dead fought well. They died well. I hope I can live up to their example.
This guy I like.
But we cannot build plans on fear. We will have to act for all our sake.
Trust no one.
Exterminated. Nothing left will do.
And if we fail,
Anything in interest?
If we do nothing, the innocent will suffer just the same.
How nobody...
Won't bring our children back.
there is nothing to
I'm not sure who spotted him, but whatever. It said right here, Kesavora Dolfier, which is not him.
So we may shed blood tomorrow.
I guess her.
What if this is it for our people?
Then we should end it on our terms, not hiding in fear.
What will we do? There are so few of us left.
Our strength was never numbers, but the bonds we share, and they are stronger than ever.
Okay, well, let's open this door by someone who isn't being seen. Because I imagine opening the door itself will... Come on, game. Who is looking at me? Alright, fine. I've got the best solution. There. My own camouflage.
We let emotion cloud our judgment, and it almost doomed us. We need strategy and cool heads.
Should we fortify the camp?
Moving forward, we'll enter the outpost city settlement. I think settlement is the best way to put it. Settlement in front of Baldur's Gate, but it's not actually Baldur's Gate itself. We have one last thing to do before we check out the settlement, which has a lot of its own content as well.
That's curious.
Well, someone sounds like they're having fun in there. We have a hatch, nothing else of note. And this is a horrible idea. We're gonna do it anyways, because I just want to see what happens.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
Oh, by the way, as far as our helmet goes, it's just a totally ordinary helmet from that one place, the Oubliette, or whatever it's called. No, not the Mind Flayer colony, that's right.
Before you lies the unconscious body of a Mind Flayer, glistening and raw.
A newborn, unattended, How fortunate.
If you kill this thing, you get one Mind Flayer parasite. If you don't, you get the equivalent of a Mind Flayer parasite for using your illithid tree or development.
It doesn't feel very fortunate.
Oh, but it is. This one has only just transformed. It is weak, vulnerable, its potential ripe for harvesting. Go on, kill it, absorb its power, just like you did before.
Connect your mind to this fledgling aberration. Wake it up.
Come no closer, you. You. What are you? What am I sensing? You are like me. Like I was. A vessel yet to transform. Help me. I am so hungry.
Was it you I heard screaming when I entered the windmill?
My vessel. He fought the transformation. He found it excoriating. I can still taste his terror. It is delicious, but will not sustain me. We need to feed. We need a brain fresh and frantic to restore our strength.
We are actually carrying a corpse on us, but it doesn't look like we have the immediate option to hand him that corpse. We're carrying Zenobia Dog, or whatever her name was.
I never work for free.
I sense you are underdeveloped. Bring me a brain and I will help you augment yourself.
More power? Deal. I can fetch you a corpse. Freshly killed. Brain intact.
I shall be here, waiting for your return.
Curtail your sympathy. We wish to destroy the Elder Brain, not nourish its doors.
Of course, we're also going to lose our Paladinhood of Vengeance, even though this Mind Flayer itself has done nothing wrong. It is a separate entity from the person it was before, I guess. But obviously, helping evil is an evil action.
You return. Will you aid me? We need to feed. We need a brain fresh and frantic to restore our strength.
Wait, do I?
Be swift, kin. I need your aid.
I have a corpse. I'm carrying a corpse. Zenobia Dog. All right, let me bring some more corpses and see if maybe he'll be less picky with one of them.
Cleaning, cooking, construction, the possibilities are endless.
Oh, I see. I needed to have picked up a corpse just to make the quest progress. I bet... okay. Obviously, the game doesn't really expect you to be hauling bodies around. Let's flip back to Tran. It wasn't even just that. I had to make Tran drop Zenovia's body and then pick it back up. The game probably needs to set a flag on each body I pick up or something.
Offer the Mind Flayer the body I'm carrying.
Yes, that will do nicely. And as you have aided me, so I shall aid you.
You feel its presence gently probing the palace of your mind. As it finds a mostly vacant spot, power and knowledge flood your brain, unlocking a new secret.
Now leave. I will feed alone.
Feels like I've lost something.
I don't mind my character being an Oathbreaker. It's just that then I can't reclass, and I'm often reclassing in between episodes, just trying to fine-tune our characters or play around with other builds and stuff. And yeah, while it is a parasite that has killed its host, the parasite itself was not a deliberate choice on its part. It just unknowingly, unintentionally did so. And it certainly doesn't want to die. This is the same thing as supporting a gnoll that has been given birth to by a hyena that died in the process of it. But whatever. But yeah, I do agree, it's an evil action, and I look forward to seeing what mayhem happens next as a result of this. And that covers the refugee camp. Thank you very much for watching Tran Wins Baldur's Gate, episode 49. I'll see you next time.